of Rocky Railway. It's great to have you with us, and let's get on our adventure.
Journey, there's no looking back. With Jesus to lead us, we're on the right track. Wide open spaces for wide open eyes. We're looking ahead for the next big surprise. We trust in you, Jesus.
Where you guys get to meet a kid going to Rocky Railway just like you and hear a few funny jokes. Today our guest is Beth. Beth, I have a couple jokes for you. What do you call a mountain lion's reflection? A copycat.
5.
That's a 5? Okay, pretty generous. And what do you call a train loaded with bubblegum? A choo-choo train.
3.
A 3? That one wasn't as good? Okay. And on a scale of 1 to 10, how cool is my hat?
8.
An 8? Thank you. That's very nice. Thank you. Thanks for joining us today, Beth, and we'll see you tomorrow for our last Railway Riot.
Hi again, everybody. We're going to do a little review of the friends we've met and what they've taught us so far this week. First, we met Ramsey. Where is he? There he is. And Ramsey helps us remember Jesus' power helps us do hard things. Trust Jesus. Awesome. You guys are pros by now. Yesterday, we met Ava way up there, that red-tailed hawk. And Ava helps us remember Jesus' power gives us hope. Trust Jesus. Awesome. Today we have a new point, a really great one. Jesus' power helps us be bold. Trust Jesus. Can you say that with me? Jesus' power helps us be bold. Trust Jesus. Now, who do you think is going to help us remember that point? Look around. Which one of these animals looks the boldest, do you think? If you look over here, you'll see this little lady, Sierra. Sierra is a mountain lion. And mountain lions, they're pretty cool. They walk around because, nobody wants to mess with them. But she's quiet most of the time. She walks around the mountain, doing her thing, taking care of business. But when she's hungry and she's ready to get lunch for her family, well, Sierra has a whole nother thing going on. She's not calm and cool anymore. She's super bold. She lets out this scream, not like a regular, a lion in Africa, like a roar. Hers is like, ah, like a big scream, and the whole mountainside can hear it. One of those big screams, and then she crouches, and she pounces on her lunch. Unfortunately for the other little animal, that happens to be her lunch that day. But she pounces out and shows her boldness, gets her lunch, and brings it back to the family. So that boldness of Sierra is going to help us remember that Jesus' power helps us be bold. Trust Jesus. Guys, I have some great news. Cam and her friends finally fixed the track. The train is ready to go, and they're ready to get the M&Ms off to whoever is waiting for them. Isn't that awesome? Yay for Cam. Let's give it up for Cam. Go Cam. Go Cam.
I heard
go
my
Cam.
name. Are you guys talking to me?
We were.
Are you cheering for me?
We were. Aren't you so excited to get to deliver your M&Ms down the mountain now?
Yeah, totally. I'm so excited. I can't wait. Look, a squirrel.
Cam, what are you doing? Why are you hiding? What on earth is going on?
If you see the train conductor coming, can you tell him I went to go water my lawn?
What? What's going on? Why are you hiding? I mean, we're going to figure it out eventually. You may as well tell us.
You're right. I need a disguise. How about this?
Cam, unless you're disguising yourself as a tree, what is going on?
Okay, fine, I'll tell you. Well, the train conductor recently informed me that before we go down the mountain, we have to go up and over a really steep mountain. And now he's like trying to find me so we can get rolling and, full steam ahead.
Isn't that what you wanted, to deliver the M&Ms?
It was, but now I'm nervous because I've never gone up such a steep hill before. I've gone over little bends, over little bridges, down hills, but never over such a steep mountain before.
Well, new things can be scary. It takes two things when you're attacking a new thing. It takes courage and it takes boldness. Good thing for you, today we're learning Jesus' power helps us be bold.
Trust Jesus.
You got it. And you know what, Cam? The person who made the mountain is able to help you get over the mountain.
Wow, that sounds really nice, but I'm still nervous.
Well, you know what? Good thing for you. We have lots of awesome songs here that we sing, and lots of them have to do with being strong and courageous, and that Jesus gives you the power to be bold.
Trust Jesus.
Exactly, that's what you need to do, and these songs will help you do that.
Well, that sounds really nice. So how about I stick around, sing some songs, and then I can go find the conductor and tell him I'm ready to go.
Awesome, we believe in you, Cam. Yay!
Same power that rose Jesus from the grave, the same power that commands the dead to wake lives in us.
Hey everybody, I'm really excited to be with you today, and today I get to talk about something really, really cool. There's a Bible story that I'm going to get to tell you that is one of my favorite stories, so I'm really happy. But first, I want to tell you the big idea. We're talking today about how Jesus' power helps us to be bold, and we can trust Jesus. That's the thing that we've been doing. I don't know if you picked up on that, but that's something that's been going on the past couple days. Now, Jesus' power helps us to be bold, and bold is a word that kind of means like courageous or strong, or it helps us to do things that maybe we didn't think we were strong enough to do on our own. And the way I'm going to tell you about that point is by telling you a story that happens in the book of Acts. And if you have your Bible with you today, you can follow along with it. We're going to be reading through Acts 3 and 4, Acts chapter 3 and 4. I'm going to be paraphrasing it and putting it kind of in my own words. But if you want to know if the stuff I'm saying really happened in the Bible, just go there and you'll see that this is more or less, this is like the Matt version. I'm explaining it a little bit differently. But the verses spell out exactly what's going to happen about Peter and John. They are two of Jesus' disciples. After Jesus had gone up into heaven, Peter and John went out to tell everyone about how Jesus had come back from the dead and how he had died for everybody's sins. Now, when you are going around telling people that someone has come back from the dead, that is a pretty big deal. And people don't always respond super well to it. And that's what we're going to see happen to Peter and John. But because they knew who Jesus was and because they trusted him, they were able to have this boldness, to have this courageousness, to be able to do something that might have been kind of hard to do in another environment. So let's start at the beginning of the story. Peter and John were walking into Jerusalem. Jerusalem, really big city, very important in Israel. It was a big deal. And at the gate of the city, there was a beggar. Now, this beggar, he could not walk. He was 40 years old. He had never been able to walk. So anybody who walked in or out of the city, they would see him all the time. They're like, oh yeah, that's Frank. He can't walk. He's never been able to walk. I've been here like 50 years. He's been here for 40 years. He's there all the time. So everybody knew who this guy was. And he would sit there out by the gate and beg for money because that was the only way he was going to get food. So Peter and John are walking into Jerusalem. They're about to go tell everyone about Jesus. They got huge plans. But they see this guy there and he's begging and he asks them for some money. So Peter and John look at him and they say, really sorry, we don't have any money. We don't have any silver. We don't have any gold. But we do have something even better. We have Jesus. So what they said is, rise up and walk. And immediately, this guy, 40 years old, that is older than some of your parents, he got up, first time, had never walked before, and started walking around. And he was like, oh my goodness, my legs work. This is insane. So he starts running off all over the place, telling everybody about Peter and John, about what they've done. Now, most people are pretty excited about this. They're like, wow, that's Frank. That's 40-year-old Frank. He could never walk. Now he's walking. Who are these Peter and John guys? That's really cool. But there were some other people who weren't so happy about it. They were the Sadducees, or the Sanhedrin. Now, they were kind of like these religious people who were very, very sure of themselves, and they didn't believe that Jesus had died and come back. They didn't believe any of that. So when Peter and John came into Jerusalem and started telling people about Jesus and saying, look, there's 40-year Frank. He was healed, and we were able to do that through Jesus' power, the Sanhedrin were like, oh, no, we don't like that. No, because we don't believe that Jesus actually is the Son of God. So what you're saying is got to be made up. So what happened is the Sanhedrin went to the police and they said, we need you to arrest these guys because they're saying stuff that is just, it's not true. It's not true. You got to arrest them. So Peter and John got arrested. Now, I don't know if you've ever been arrested. Probably not at your age, but I also have never been arrested. If I was ever going to be arrested, I would be very scared. It's not a very fun thing, especially back then. The jails back then were not really nice. I mean, the jails today aren't very nice either, but the jails back then were even worse. So when Peter and John got arrested and they had to go all the way to jail, they were probably a little bit scared. And if I were Peter or John, I would have said, why did we heal that guy? Now we're in jail. That was a total waste of time. I really wish we hadn't healed him. I might say that. I mean, I probably shouldn't say that, but I might have said that. Now, while Peter and John were in jail, people kept talking about Jesus. And you know what happened? 5,000 people in Jerusalem became Christians, which is crazy. All of this work that Peter and John had done, and now they're in jail, and even more people are coming to know Jesus. It's crazy. So Peter and John get brought before the Sanhedrin. So it's kind of like you're like stuck in your room for a little while and then you get brought to your parents for the big talk and you're really, really scared. Peter and John were especially scared because the Sanhedrin could do a whole lot of really, really bad things to them on top of already having them in jail. So Peter and John probably not so excited. But here's where things get a little weird because Peter and John do some stuff that I don't really understand. I don't know how they pulled it off, but we're going to talk about that. So Peter and John get brought before the Sanhedrin and they're standing there. They got their shackles on and they got their dirty jail clothes and they're looking around like, okay, when are we going to get out of here? And the Sanhedrin say, you are going around telling people about this Jesus guy that came back from the dead and died for everybody's sins. Why are you doing that? Like, why are you doing this stuff? We don't believe that. Now, if I were Peter and I were super scared, I might say, me? No, that wasn't us. You got another Peter and John. There's another Peter and John down the corner. That's probably who you're talking about. Just let us go. I might have done that because sometimes I can get a little bit scared. Or I might have said, yes, we did say those things, but we're really sorry. So if you could just let us go, that'd be really great. That would be another thing that I might want to do. But Peter and John had a boldness. Because you see, Jesus' power helps us be bold. We need to trust Jesus. See, that's that thing again. You're picking up on that, right? So Peter and John said to the Sanhedrin, they said, we are saying these things. We are telling people about Jesus because Jesus is alive. He is real, and there is a power that he has given to us. And they start talking about Jesus to the Sanhedrin. That's like going to the very person who locked you up for doing a thing and then doing that thing right in front of them. That was like if your principal was saying, don't pick your nose or I'm going to talk to you. And then you pick your nose right in front of the principal. Like it's a really, really bold move. And on a side note, you should never do what I just said. But Peter and John were talking about Jesus right to the Sanhedrin. Now, the Sanhedrin were a little bit shocked because they were like, I could have sworn we just told them not to be doing that. And now they're doing it right in front of us. This is ridiculous. So they said to Peter and John, okay, look, stop talking about Jesus. Okay, we get it. We get why you're doing it. We get that you believe this, but stop. It's really annoying and we don't agree with it. So just stop. Now, Peter and John could have said, okay, we understand. Thank you for the warning. We're going to leave now, and then ran out of Jerusalem. But instead, they looked at the Sanhedrin square in the eye and they said, we have to listen to somebody. We can listen to you or we can listen to Jesus. We can listen to a person or we can listen to the God who created the universe. Which one do you think we should listen to? Yeah, we're going to listen to God and we're going to keep talking about Jesus. That is a really bold thing to say. And the Sanhedrin were so taken aback that they said, well, what are we going to do? These guys aren't even going to stop talking. Now, what they could have done is they could have said, maybe we could just beat them up or just get rid of them or something like that. But because of Peter and John, the fact that they had 5,000 people in Jerusalem already who had become Christians, the Sanhedrin were worried that if they did something to Peter and John, this whole ruckus would get caused up, and they didn't want that. So they said, okay, let's just get rid of him. Just get rid of him. So they said, okay, Peter and John, get out of here. And Peter and John got to walk out of that building. They didn't have to go back to jail, and they got to keep talking about Jesus. Now, what's so crazy about that story is Peter and John had all of these opportunities to kind of say, okay, just kidding, I'm not going to do it, and go back. But they had this boldness that Jesus had given them. Sometimes you might be in a situation where you want to talk about Jesus or you see something that's not right that's happening. And you might feel this kind of weird feeling in your stomach like, ooh, I don't really want to say anything. But Jesus gives us the power to be bold. If we can just trust Jesus, he will give you the strength to say those things that you need to say or to do those things that you need to do. So I hope that the next time I'm in a situation like Peter or John, I hope that I will have the same boldness that they did. So that when I see something that's maybe not so good, I can say, hey, that thing, it's not so good. Or if I see somebody who could really learn something or really could hear about Jesus, I can have the boldness to say, hey, let me talk to you about this guy. He's actually pretty cool. And I hope you guys get the chance to do that too. Okay, I'll see you soon.
Hey everyone, welcome back. In today's station, it is KidVid Cinema. So you're probably wondering, what is that? Well, it's a video you guys are going to be watching. So in this video, we're going to be seeing a girl named Lauren, and she takes a huge step in how she trusts Jesus. So take a look.
Meet Lauren. She's your pretty typical kid. She loves Legos and animals.
These are freshwater fish. Mine is Peaches. My brother's is Green Lantern. My sister's is Uma.
She loves learning.
My favorite subject in school is writing. I did write. This is kind of like a comic book.
She also loves cruising around her basement on her scooter and bouncing on trampolines. Lauren also serves Jesus in a big, bold way by serving at her local food kitchen.
I saw all the people who didn't have food, so I wanted to help them. My first time I served in community kitchen, I tried it in California and I wanted to do it here. So I told my mom and she found a place and she said I can go.
First thing, she meets with her crew to get a plan for the day.
It feels nice and it feels like God wants me to do this because it's important that people who don't have very much things, that we need to care for them. I am the drink and dessert person. When I do desserts, I walk back and forth taking down desserts and putting them on a table.
Once everything is set up, they say a prayer before everyone is served.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the food that you have.
It's time to start serving.
When they start, we have to pour the drinks.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow! Isn't it cool to see Lauren's boldness as she serves and meets all these grown-ups?
You're welcome. We serve juice, we serve milk, and we serve coffee, hot chocolate. It makes me feel bold when I show them that I care about them and that they are important and that we should care for them. And they're always happy when I'm there. That makes me feel good. Welcome.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Lauren enjoys serving so much, she invites others to serve with her.
My brother wants to go with me, so he'll come next time.
In the Bible, the book of Isaiah tells us, He gives power to the weak and strength to the powerless.
God has given me the power to show people that they matter and that it's kind to care for people who need stuff and who are just on the streets, who don't have food, who don't have homes. They need stuff, and I got the power from God to show them that they matter.
Jesus' power helps us be bold.
So I hope you guys really enjoyed that video about Lauren. I thought it was so cool how she takes a huge step in her faith by serving in her community. She wants the people in her community to know that they matter because God cares about them. That's something you guys can do too. So I'll see you tomorrow for the next one.
Welcome, boys and girls, to Rocky Wrap Up, Day 3. We are so excited about everything that we learned today, including that Jesus' power helps us be bold. Trust Jesus. We learned all about our Bible buddy today, Sierra the mountain lion, who needs to be bold to survive in the wild and to care for her cubs every single day. I want to show you guys an example of how Jesus helps us be bold. And Mary is going to help me with that. Mary, I have this ping pong ball right here. See? Very, very happy ping pong ball. And I want you to hold this piece of paper between your two flat hands. And you're just going to hold it on a slight angle like this. And you're going to try to roll the ping pong ball. I'll try to roll the ping pong ball into the bucket. Okay? Can you do that? All right. Great. Thank you. Let me know when you're ready. You can hold your hands a little bit farther apart. Great. All right. Well, we tried. Do you want to try again? Okay. All right. Well, I'm not really sure what we're doing wrong. This is to teach us that we need to depend on Jesus to give us the boldness to do the right thing. Maybe it's coming clean for something that we did that we need to be honest about. Or maybe it's telling somebody else about Jesus. Or maybe it's standing up for what's right. Or standing up against a bully. No matter what it is, Jesus can help us to be bold with his power. When we ask Jesus to help us be bold, he can change us and he can give us the strength to do what we need to do. He can give us the strength to do what's right. As you can see, I took the same piece of paper and I just folded it to make it stronger. Mary, can you do the same thing? Hold it with flat hands and make sure it's high enough that when I put the ball on, the ball should go right in the bucket because Jesus' power helps us be bold. Trust Jesus. Just like that. You can try this at home, boys and girls. One of these pieces of paper is in your Rocky Railway activity bag. You can try with a ball or a marble or even a rock that you find in your backyard and see if you can create a strong train track to roll something down. This reminds me of today's Bible verse. He gives power to the weak and strength to the powerless. Isaiah 40:29. Say it again with me. He gives power to the weak and strength to the powerless. Isaiah 40:29. Well, today has been a great day. I hope you have a great day at home, and we'll see you tomorrow at Rocky Railway. Remember, Friday is Super Prize Day. See you Friday.